Hey there, friend. Welcome to the Having a Mom Moment podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Warner. This podcast is all about taking a few moments for yourself and reconnecting to the amazing woman behind the title of mom. You have so many plates spinning at any given time between your kids, your partner, your job, maintaining a household, etc., etc. But where does taking time just for you play into that? Let's spend some time together, you and me, right now. We're going to connect, tune in, and tap into what makes us the incredible woman that we are. We'll nurture ourselves so that we can pour into those who can count on us. We'll also hear from other moms to learn about the ways in which they've tapped into alignment in their own motherhood journeys. Let's roll. We're having a mom moment. This week's episode is a reflection on the fact that I have now been #funemployed, as one of my dear friends calls it, #funemployed for 6 months now. 6 months. Yes. So those of you who don't know, I worked with a company for 8 years, and in February of this year, they eliminated my position. I was the first of a couple of rounds of layoffs. Unfortunately, most of the team that remained after I was let go also got let go, and I hate that for them. I worked with some really, really amazing people, some of which had even become friends, and it just kind of stinks. It's just kind of a stinky situation, and it's just kind of the way the world is right now. And at first, I took it super personally. I was deeply offended. I was deeply embarrassed and ashamed, like I had done something wrong, even though I know that I didn't do anything wrong, and I was assured that I hadn't done anything wrong. I know ultimately it was probably just a matter of numbers, and my salary was the easiest to cut. So after I worked through a lot of the guilt and shame of being let go as a manager of my department, I really recalibrated back towards my original goal for 2023, which was alignment. 2022 was a really hard year for our Warner family, and I had finally felt like I got my footing again. Once the new year came, I was like, okay, I'm in a good place. Like, I am ready to just go all in, give it 110%. And then we had the shakeup very, very early in the year. But it's given me a lot of space that I didn't know that I needed. I mean, aside from financial implications, I think a lot of us could appreciate a break from work, right? A sabbatical sounds nice. I'm not talking about a vacation where you have to return to, 700 emails after being gone for 10 days, like an actual sabbatical where you just get to set work down for a while and then come back. Like, that sounds great, doesn't it? So I was given this break. And of course, during this time, I've been applying for jobs, but so have millions of other people. It's wild out there. The job search is really tricky. If you don't have a huge network to access and you don't have direct connections, it can be challenging. And I think we all know that. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm here today to talk about what I've learned about myself in this process. And I want to talk about it because these may be things that you've got going on, even though I now had, I won't say a full 40 hours because of course a job search takes up time. But even though I had this huge block of time each day, I was filling it. It was like an addiction. Like I felt like I had to. I felt like how could I just sit? Like, that wasn't allowed. No one was saying that to me. That was me saying that to me. But I was filling my time. I'm kind of an online course junkie. I'm grateful that I was in a live program when I was laid off, and it was a great container to kind of exist in while I was going through the transition of being employed to not being employed. So that was already in my space, and I was able to kind of just dive in and really, really spend a lot of time working through that program, which I really loved. I'm really grateful for that experience. But even outside of that, like, I'm just finding ways to fill the time. And what I've learned is important for me to realize from all of this is that I don't allow myself to rest. And I've touched on this a little bit before, but it has been one of the most glaringly obvious pieces of this time, this 6 months now, is that I won't allow myself to just calm down, to rest. I won't allow myself to sleep in. I won't allow myself to hang out in my pajamas all day. I won't allow myself, a day to veg. I think maybe in the last 6 months, I've taken a couple hour stints on the couch. Like, that's it. That's it. What am I doing instead? I don't know. I couldn't really tell you. It's not like I'm cleaning my house. I'm certainly not doing that. I'm not caught up on my laundry either. I'm certainly not doing that. This podcast has taken up some time, which has been great. I love that. That's been a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm just keeping myself very, very busy. And I think it's not all bad. I think it's better than sitting and wallowing in self-pity. Like, that's not constructive. There's a time and place for that, but we've got to move through it and move forward. I've made a friend semi-recently, in the last few months, actually, since I've been laid off. And she's challenged me just to sit. And I'm like, how does one do that? How does one just sit? And it is tough for me. But what I've noticed in the last week is we scheduled in fun. My daughter and I took a trip to a nearby amusement park and spent the whole day there together. And we had a blast. And it gave us the opportunity to just go wild for the day, like ride the roller coasters, scream at the top of our lungs, all the things. It was a lot of fun. It took me the rest of the week to recover because my body is old now and doesn't love roller coasters the way it used to. But I allowed myself the chance to recover the next day. I was really focused on rehydrating and resting because my body was demanding it. And it felt good. The rest of the week felt different. I think there's something to be said in allowing yourself to rest and allowing yourself that space, because that's where I think the alignment is. And what is the alignment? What I desire and what I believe the universe has for me, and setting down those limiting beliefs of playing small, setting down those limiting beliefs that I can't have that I want what I want, or that I'm not good enough or smart enough or motivated enough. When I'm tapped into my alignment, I'm standing in my alignment, I can feel the universe working in my favor. That's when the magic starts to happen in my world for me. These are when the connections start to happen and people start to come into my realm that I wasn't expecting. And it's when the money shows up unexpectedly. And, those are the things. Those are the things that tell you that you're headed in the right direction. So why do I share this? As I mentioned, I think when you don't have any space, you can't tap into this. And if you're someone like me who has a set point just to be busy all the time, and then you layer that on top of being a working mom or just a working human, it doesn't even have to be a mom, because I was guilty of this still before I had children. If your set point is to be busy all the time, you're not giving yourself the space to explore, to grow, to step into your alignment, to meditate, to work on your mindset, to work on all of this stuff. And it's really not that hard. It's really not that hard. But for me, what it looks like is stop trying to force things. I have a habit of trying to muscle things. I have a habit of trying to overplan. I love to plan, but there's something to be said about leaving space for the unknown and the unexpected and what could find you, and releasing the control and trusting that what's for you and what's best for you will find you. And you don't have to control and muscle every little piece of the puzzle. You can fill in the border, but let those other pieces find you. That's where the fun is. And as you kind of lean into that and begin to trust that's what is for you will find you, then you can relax. And when you can relax, you get better at leaving the space. It's a practice. It's a practice. You got to start, though, by setting down some of the junk. What can you set down that is not serving you today? I just made a post on Instagram about this, actually. I didn't plan on this lining up this way, but it did, and here we are. So I'm going to pull it up. So my post today for Instagram said, stop, breathe in, breathe out. Let's do that together. Ready? Yeah, you. I know you're driving or you're listening to this in the background while you work. I don't care. Stop. Ready? Okay. Stop. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Now, what can you release to show up as the best version of you today? The caption reads, stop your scroll. Now breathe in, breathe out. Hopefully you've done that. Seriously, we need to stop to breathe more, okay? Anyway, the caption continues. In my 7 years as a mom, I've found that we don't always take enough time to rest. I don't mean completely unplugging either. I'm talking about capturing small moments within our day to simply pause, breathe, and release. This is especially important for working moms, where one needs to juggle the concerns of our families, our homes, and our careers. There are things we should most definitely release and other things we should internalize in order to live the type of life we really want. Here's what I mean. Release the mindset that we need to constantly be productive. Those pesky limiting beliefs that are keeping us from going after what we really want. Motherfucking mom guilt. And if you're not a mom, any guilt, any shame, set that shit down. Let's internalize. We are already doing enough and are enough. The belief that we are inherently worthy. We deserve to pursue our own needs and desires. So what can you release today? Or what do you wish you had released sooner? I love it when things align like that unintentionally. It's the best. So if you're someone like me who has a set point towards being busy, and there's a lot of reasons you might be that way. Maybe to you, being productive means success or a path to success. Like, oh, I'll get that thing if I keep doing all the things. Or maybe you struggle with your sense of worth and that you feel that if you are not doing, that you are not worthy of whatever it is that you have or desire or that you want. And I don't think the path to what we want is in the doing. I think it's more in the allowing, which happens in this space that I'm talking about. So back to what I was saying, if you are someone who has a set point of keeping busy, you have to internalize that you're already doing enough and that you don't have to do all the things and that you can create space. And not just, maybe you have a morning routine, like that's great. I've talked a little bit about a morning routine in the past, doing some journaling, some meditation, some yoga or exercise or taking a walk or even just reading, taking some time to read or whatever that looks like for you. Quiet coffee in the garden, whatever that is for you. But I think it's more than that. I think that's a must, especially if you have little ones, like getting up and doing that before they get up, front load that day with the things that fill your cup first. But I think we have to look at the rest of our day too. Where do you have time to create space? And really maybe do an audit of your day and scrutinize, like, oh, every day at this time I do the laundry. Okay, are there other times you can do the laundry? I mean, I love doing laundry, don't get me wrong. But you know why I love doing laundry? Because I can multitask while I do the laundry. I can say, oh, I got the laundry done. And so, don't take my advice on that. But where else could you make space? What obligations, quote unquote, do you have that you could let go of? You don't have to volunteer for all the things. You don't. Nobody cares. I know you care. And I know it's important to you. But the world will not stop spinning if you don't volunteer for that thing that one day. I have a great example of this. The same month that I got laid off was the book fair at my daughter's school. And I had volunteered for a couple things leading up to that point, mainly things that I could help with from home. And I was like, oh, I'll sign up to do a shift, to work the book fair. That's fine. I was going to do it anyway. I was going to find a time that I could go for an hour, like on my lunch break, and do it before I got laid off. But I knew it was coming. So then as soon as I got laid off, I was like, oh, I'll just pick up as many shifts as I can. I'll just, I'll do this day and this day and this day because I can, because I should. Why should I? Why should I? I don't mind going. And I did end up going twice, and it was fine. I don't mind doing that. But even that was probably overkill. Once would have been enough. I don't have to be the PTA mom. I don't have to fill my schedule just because it's now open and empty. I don't have to try to rebuild an identity when the working mom piece that I was so proud of was taken from me. We can press pause on those things at any point in our lives, and we can pick them back up again later. And I intend to, but I intend to do it differently. I don't need to rebrand myself or reinvent my identity because I don't have a 9-to-5 job, because I don't have somebody else signing off on my paycheck. And that's okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this episode gives you some food for thought and allows you the opportunity to kind of look at your day and look at your weeks and find some time for some space. I know it doesn't seem easy, but if we really scrutinize how we are spending our time each day, I think we can all find a little bit of time here and there to carve out and just allow whatever is going to come, and don't try to schedule every minute of every hour. Just allow and see what happens. I am really excited to be working on the plan for the rest of the year for this podcast. So if you are interested in sharing your motherhood journey, or you are knowledgeable on a topic that you think would be important to moms, now is the time to reach out to me. Let's get a conversation going and let's get that episode scheduled. I'd love to have you on, and I would love to have you share with this audience. And those of you who are listening, thank you so much. Your downloads don't go unnoticed. I appreciate you. I'm excited to share that I am getting ready to roll out the next round of Mastering Maternity Leave, my 6-week live program where we will work together for 6 weeks live to create a maternity leave plan that honors your needs first. The wait list for that program, dates and times are TBD right now, but the wait list, if you want to be in the know, as soon as that's scheduled, I'll drop that link in my notes. 0 obligation, just lets you be in the know first. And I'm excited to announce that I am also getting ready to roll out a 1-to-1 maternity leave guidance option. If you are someone who really wants individualized attention, or if your timeline does not align with the next group program, no worries, I got you. I'll drop a link in the show notes where you can get some more information. 0 obligation again, it just lets me know that you are interested and we can start a conversation around that as well. If you are not pregnant or planning another maternity leave anytime soon, but you know someone who is, please send them my way. I would love to be able to help them. You have free resources that can help them on their journey that I would love to get in their hands. Until next time, please come join me on Instagram or on Facebook at Having a Mom Moment. If there's something you'd like to hear about in a future episode, you can DM me on either of those platforms, or you can shoot me an email at the link in the show notes as well. Don't forget, you are amazing, you are loved, and I am so proud of the beautiful human that you are. Take care of yourself.